Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. Up next is newspaper review.
All right, and Chukwudi Okolubaja has joined us for the newspaper review. Good morning.
Morning, Victor. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm good.
Always good to see you.
Good.
Demo, how are you doing?
Well,
One day at a time.
thank God for life.
Believe in God and believe in yourself.
All right, let's begin with the leadership. And the leadership leads with this story. FG defends emergency rule in Rivers State, and it has multiple riders. Says Fubara ignored security threats, encouraged militants. President's decision timely, that's according to AGF. We will work with you, state lawmakers tell Ibas. And NAS unsettled, reps in shouting march. PDP governors, NNPP, Amechi, others kick. Okay, and just above that story, there's a tiny strip which reads, troops kill 10 terrorists, rescue 101 in Katsina and Zamfara. That story is on page 20. And above the nameplate, FCCPC reaffirms commitment to fair market prices. That's on page 26. And beside that, FCTA clarifies land title revocations. That's on page 6. And to other matters, price hike likely as Dangote resumes sale of petrol in dollars. That's on page 7. This should interest Chukwudi, by the way. And to the strips on the right, the boxes on the right, constituents divided over plots to recall Natasha. That's on page 24. Many feared dead in Abuja tanker explosion. That's on page 6. And plots to unseat Agbebaku as Edo speaker thickens. Page 23. That's for the leadership, and we head to the blueprint, which leads with health. Death toll in Kebbi meningitis outbreak rises to 56. FG dispatches 3,000 doses of vaccines. And that story is completed on page 8. The story of troops neutralizing terrorists is also here. And why FG will release Rivers allocations to administrator, that's credited to Fagbemi. It has 3 riders. Defense, Tinubu, clears Wike over emergency order. NLC, NBA, PDP, Amechi, others seek reversal. And I'll maintain law and order, Ibas assures. All right. No explosion at Port Harcourt refinery, NNPC clarifies. It's on page 20. And at the bottom of the front page of the blueprint, Wike approves 1.94 billion naira for procurement of earth-moving machines. Okay, and finally, in sports, World Cup qualifiers, we have to stop Osimhen, says Rwandan spokesman. Okay, Demola, before I get to you, just one more story. Many fear dead as CNG tanker explodes in Abuja. I think that was just yesterday, Demola.
Oh, yeah, you're correct. I have the Daily Trust newspaper with me, and just below the nameplate, many fear dead as tanker explodes on Abuja Road. Details on page 6. Poor sanitation, others push meningitis death to 55 in Kebbi. Details on page 3. EFCC arrest Bochi AG over alleged 70 billion fraud. 70 billion naira fraud. Details of that story can be found on page 24. Fuel price may rise as naira for crude deal stalls. Experts seek government intervention. That's the major headline there. And we have the front page picture of the scene of explosion at Karu Bridge along Abuja Yanya Kefi Highway in the Federal Capital Territory yesterday evening. Then we have river crisis Emergency rule can be overturned. Yadudu. Overrule Tinubu, NNPP, LP orders tell National Assembly. Over to you, Chooks.
Thank you, Demola. Osime is being watched by Rwanda, you said?
They should.
Do you know that it is actually the other guy that
Lookman.
Lookman. But of course, Osime does well as well. We'll do well. It's not a very good Thursday morning. Many fear dead as a CNG truck explodes in Abuja. To be specific, accuracy is part of our news presentation. It actually happened close to Carroll Bridge. Okay. You can still see the carcasses of cars flung on both sides of the road. You know, that thing is like a bomb going off. They are saying 7 bodies have been removed. From what I saw this morning, even though we didn't stop to watch, it might go beyond that. The questions that arise are... 8. Yeah. The questions that arise are, what was the state of this driver? You know, I keep telling people, thinking that driving is for dropouts. It's a very bad way of thinking, you know. A driver has to be a very intelligent person. It's not just that he has to be intelligent. He has to have his senses acute all the time. He should not be under the influence. But maybe more importantly, check the ages of people who drive tankers and trucks in Nigeria these days. You can see a 28-year-old. It's just like when I see a little boy, 13 years, on a motorcycle where I live, in the suburb of Abuja where I live. I say, when this little boy confronts a situation on the road, that is when you will know that he should have got to 18 before touching it, you know. The other thing to consider is the stipulation or the regulation that trucks and tankers should not use that road within some
specified
time in times in the day or night or whatever. Has that stipulation been obeyed? Many things happen. But then we say, sorry about it. May God help relatives of the deceased and those who got injured. I don't know why a price hike is going to be is being contemplated, because Dangote may go to dollars instead of as the Naira for crude deal has not been renewed. What you ask is, why do we make headline material things that are administrative issues in this country? So it expires in March. What has happened to planning? Are we not aware of it? Why would a newspaper give us an alarmist nudge to get us to do what we should do? It's administrative. Is Dangote refusing Naira? NNPC, are they not able to do their job anymore to get that happening? There are certain things we talk about in this country that should not be newspaper stuff. It's administrative. Start early. Many of us are complaining of financial insolvency these days because we didn't plan our lives properly. That's what it is. Plan ahead. What is the news about renewing the Naira for crude? What is it? It's not fair. It's just not fair. FG defending the emergency rule in Rivers. Defense is important in response to any public outcry. It is called carrying the polity along. But the question you ask at the end of the day is, has what been done legitimately? Is it legal? Is it constitutional? Is 305, smiling at us after we took that decision? That's what matters. And if government has done its due diligence, what are they defending? It has happened. It's a fait accompli. It has happened. If you have any grudges against it, go to court. It's as simple as that. And somebody is saying, that's fine with me. AGF is saying that it's given reasons why allocations will still go to the administrator. So the people should have been starved because there's emergency rule in there, I don't know the circumstances that lead to these situations, but I think the people of Rivers still deserve their allocations. If there's a lacuna in statutory provisions concerning that, let's go and rectify it.
The fate is not
Money will
accomplished yet until the National Assembly, give the nod.
And
They are meeting today.
Those are procedural things.
Yeah,
Those are procedural things. The important thing is, did the president follow due diligence, adopt due diligence when he...
In the first place.
It's as simple as that. If he didn't, we are going to say, hey, Mr. President, that's not how it should be. You can see what is happening to Trump. I saw Caroline Leavitt yesterday, the youngish spokesman of the White House. The lady has a struggle every day because he has a principle that thinks that judges are a pain somewhere. Victor, I said somewhere, please. You know? It doesn't.
She has one hell of a job.
So it's one hell of a job, but I think she's doing well.
For a young.
I think she's doing well. Our bio Nanuga is doing well as well. He's a goodie oldie, So those are really the issues there, and I don't think we should be too perplexed or agitated over some of these things. As I said, the Naira for crude arrangement should be an administrative affair. Plan ahead.
Is it just administrative? Because Dangote says, look, we are no longer getting in Naira, and so we cannot sell in Naira because that will, not go well for us. So
maybe he's meeting
probably
a brick wall.
It's not sustainable. I don't know.
What is he not getting? What is he not getting in Naira?
He ought to get certain inputs in Naira to enable him also sell in Naira. I read, it's a bit sketchy here, but I read
when machinery is in place for a refinery, that means that your machines are in place, or whatever the trailers you bring into the process of production. What is the input that is regular, almost daily, maybe weekly or whatever? Is it not crude? Are we no longer supplying crude to him? I don't know. Victor, I'm not dismissing the point you're raising, but certain things sound artificial to me. And that is where good intention drives the lives of men. We said the other time that Supreme Court pronouncements do not solve every African problem. They may work in the UK, they may work in the US. Africa is a clannish community. My clan, my tribe, that's the way we are wired. If you're wishing it away, you're deceiving yourself. So when you plan for Africans, plan for those those foibles, the funny little things that make us African. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Well, you're right, Chooks. They said that the mouth of an elder may stink, but not his words.
That's it.
Thank you, Chooks.
Thank you very much.
All right.
And what an elder sits down to see, a child will climb a tree, Iroko, whatever he likes, he's not going to see it.
Thank you. All right, we'll take a break now. Good Morning Nigeria continues. Stay with us.